Very few cities in the world can carry the weight that the name Constantinople bears. This is not just the story of a city, it is the story of a civilization, a desire, an obsession. Situated at the very heart of Asia and Europe, this peninsula that connects two continents has destroyed kingdoms, built empires, and swallowed them as well. Facing the cold waters of the Bosphorus, these lands have witnessed humanity's greatest wars, deepest betrayals, and most brilliant minds for thousands of years. On this journey, we are going to do something special. Using advanced artificial intelligence techniques, we have transformed ancient engravings and paintings into vivid, lifelike scenes. This way, you will not only hear history, you will witness it in its closest possible form. Now, close your eyes and take yourself back to 6500 BCE. There is no city yet, only a fertile peninsula, the first humans tracking their prey, and the echoing roar of the Bosphorus. By 3000 BCE, these lands had become a crossroads for Thracian and Anatolian tribes. Trade routes converged here, cultures intertwined, and the destiny of this peninsula slowly began to take shape. Then, in 667 BCE, a Megarian sailor named Byzas arrived. The Oracle of Delphi had told him, "Settle opposite the land of the blind." Byzas looked toward Chalcedon, modern-day Kadikoi, on the Asian side of the Bosphorus, and realized that those settlers had overlooked this extraordinary peninsula. He settled here and gave the city his name, Byzantion. Born as a small colony, the city quickly grew thanks to its harbor. But growth also meant becoming a target. The Persians came, besieged it, and took it. The Macedonians came, besieged it, and took it. The Romans came, and this time the city became part of an empire. In 196 CE, Emperor Septimius Severus destroyed the city so ruthlessly that nothing remained of Byzantion but ashes and a vow of revenge. But cities do not die, they change form. And in 330 CE, history reached perhaps its greatest turning point. Emperor Constantine, searching for a new heart for an empire that could no longer bear the weight of Rome, fixed his gaze on this peninsula.
On May 11, 330, he proclaimed in a grand ceremony, this city was now Nova Roma, New Rome. But the people called it something else, Constantinople, the city of Constantine. Massive walls were built, palaces rose, and treasures from across the world were brought here. Constantinople quickly became the largest and richest city in the world. But wealth always attracts blood. In 378 CE, the Visigoths reached its gates. In 410, Rome itself fell, but Constantinople stood. The walls seemed to speak, "You shall not pass." In 532 CE, danger rose from within the city. The Nika Riots became one of the bloodiest urban uprisings in history. What began as a spark in the Hippodrome turned the city into a firestorm. As Emperor Justinian prepared to flee, Empress Theodora spoke one of the bravest lines in history. "Purple makes the noblest shroud." The revolt was crushed. 30,000 people were killed, and Justinian rebuilt the city. Hagia Sophia rose as the symbol of this rebirth. Those who stood beneath its dome believed that God himself was protecting this city. Centuries passed. Constantinople was attacked, besieged, ravaged by plagues, and yet it endured. In 626 CE, the Avars and Sassanids attacked from two sides at once. The city still resisted. In 674, the Arab fleet arrived. Byzantium's secret weapon, Greek fire, set the sea ablaze. But the greatest blow in its history came from within. In 1204 CE, Christian crusaders sacked Christian Constantinople. A drunken woman was placed upon the altar of Hagia Sophia. Libraries were burned, statues melted, and the soul of the city was shattered. This was not a conquest, it was a betrayal. After half a century under Latin occupation, the city returned to Byzantine control in 1261, but it was no longer the same Constantinople. Only its shadow remained. And empires cannot be built upon shadows. May 29, 1453, one of the longest nights in history. The young Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II, just 21 years old, stood before the mightiest walls in the world.
After 53 days of siege, the walls were breached that morning. Constantinople fell. The last emperor, Constantine XI, removed his imperial robes, dressed as an ordinary soldier, and died defending his city. When Mehmed entered the city, he walked to Hagia Sophia, bowed, and touched his forehead to the ground in gratitude. Constantinople was now Istanbul. During the Ottoman era, the city once again became the center of the world. Decisions made in Topkapi Palace shook continents. The age of Suleiman was carved into stone by the architect Sinan. The Süleymaniye Mosque reshaped the skyline. But like every empire, the Ottomans too grew weary with time. In the 19th century, the sick man waited at Europe's gates. In the 20th century, the shadow of world wars passed over this city as well. In 1923, the Republic of Turkey was founded. The capital moved to Ankara, but the spirit remained in Istanbul. And today, when you stand on that peninsula, you can still feel it. Bridges now span the Bosphorus, but the waters beneath still whisper the same story. Byzantine mosaics, Ottoman minarets, and modern skyscrapers stand side by side because Istanbul has never belonged to just one era. It is time itself. In every stone, a secret. In every street, a ghost. On every horizon, a new conquest waiting in sleep. For 8,500 years, this city has stood, and it whispers this to you. I fell, I burned, I was destroyed, and every time I was reborn. So can you. See you in the past.